Shalom to the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that teach and that rule well today. And peace and salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar, coming at you with another quick lesson, as I make mention. And right before I get into the lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, and also to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. So once again, Shalom. So basically, this is going to be a quick lesson going into when it comes to the subject matter. Okay, the topic is going to be about Babylon the Great, or Mystery Babylon. Okay, when it comes to the scriptures, okay, which we know through the Spirit today is America. Okay, when it comes to this current kingdom that's ruling the world right now by the biblical Edomites, the so-called white race, mainly the elites, the central bankers, and the less luminary ones. Okay, they're doing their bidding when it comes to the government official. Okay, when it comes to the rulers or the powers that be. Okay, hey, it could contrary to popular belief. Okay, a lot of people that in the world are Bible thumpers, claim to be. Okay, especially these Christians. Okay, and majority of the world, they don't understand or have the spiritual eyesight to know that America is prophesied in the scriptures. Okay, under ancient empires, and in this case, one is Babylon the Great. Okay, or Babylon. Okay, because we know about ancient Babylon. Okay, when it comes to the first Babylon with Nimrod. Okay, doing the Tower of Babel. Okay, and we know about the Neo Babylon. Okay, which was ruled. Okay, during the time of the prophets of Daniel. Okay, Habakkuk. Okay, Ezekiel, Isaiah. Okay, Jeremiah. Okay, when it comes to the Neo, okay, Babylonian. Okay, which was ruled by the ancient Assyrians. Okay, but like I say, here America is described as Babylon the Great, or Mystery Babylon, spiritually. Okay, which is being ruled by the Edomites today. Okay, mainly when it comes to them ruling over us. Okay, the so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, and the word Babylon means confusion. Okay, in the Hebrew, Baal, meaning confusion. And that's what you have here in America. Okay, a bunch of confusion, man. Okay, starting with people not knowing their true biblical nationality. Okay, especially when it comes to you tribes, you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and following after these false gods, idol worship, hedonistic customs, what America has present. Okay, through these different sets of religions or false doctrines that our people are into, right along with the rest of the world. Okay, hey, so enough but a bunch of confusion. Okay, and we're coming to the time of the downfall of this place, America, and its great destruction. Okay, which ultimately this place, America, will be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles at the peak of the Third World War, leading to the time of who the world ignorantly called Christ, which his name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew, meaning he is the deliverer or he's the savior. And at the time, Yahweh Shai is coming back to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, which were considered the 144,000 and the 1/3 that destined to be saved by the way of what the world called so-called UFOs which are the vehicles of the angels, or the chariots, okay, of the angels, and the salvation of the chariots of Israel when it comes to the salvation of the elect, okay? Because at this time, 2/3 of so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, going to be cut off and judged in the various plagues that's going to hit this place, America. And the ultimate plague is the missiles at the peak of the Third World War that's going to be shot, okay, shot off by the way of Russia, China, okay, Iran, okay, uh, um, North Korea, okay, certain of the Arab states, okay, certain members of NATO that's going to turn on this place, okay, and leave this place ultimately desolate at the peak of the Third World War. And in the midst of that, Yahweh Shah is going to return, like I'm saying, okay, to deliver the elect from out of that great destruction here in America, and where the elect is scattered worldwide, according to Matthew the 24th chapter, verses 29 through 31. Okay, but prior to that, this place is about to witness Jacob's trouble. Okay, when it comes to famine, pestilence, uproars of the people, civil unrest. Okay, the coming of martial law, concentration camps. Okay, and ultimately, one of the key prophecies as well is the coming of the RFID microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. That's going to replace the physical dollar. Okay, once this place comes to a financial crash, when it comes to the economy collapsing, and these elites going to implement the RFID micro. And those of our people, you Negro, Latino, Native Americans that take that RFID micro, going to be destroyed by the way of the thermonuclear missiles at the peak of the Third World War, according to Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Okay? Yeah, but the whole point of this lesson is that when it comes to the existence of America, okay, although you're not going to see America, okay, the terminology, okay, or the word America in the scriptures physically, but the scriptures are codified, okay, or spiritually, okay, symbolic, okay, when it comes to America's existence today under ancient empires, and in this case, such as Babylon the Great, okay, and only elect, us or the hopeful elect, have the understanding of that, okay, to its fullest, okay, like I say, the average person, when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, or these heathen nations, majority of them don't even know that America is prophesied in the scriptures when it comes to its destruction and its existence, okay, being Babylon the Great. But I'm going to start off with Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven veils, and talked with me, okay, who the Lord revealed. Okay, the word revelation means to reveal, okay, when it comes to the prophecies. In this case, Babylon the Great, being America today, was revealed to, as we have the understanding today, okay, but it was given unto John the Revelator, okay, and it says, and talk with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, okay, and that great whore going into America, okay, the many waters going into the nations that's over here, okay, you got all the tribes over here when it comes to so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that descended out of that bloodline. Then you got all the heathen nation tribes over here, or the heathen nations, okay, over here, okay, as we know that America is known as the great melting pot, okay, and it says, matter of fact, let's jump down to prove that the waters, well, that's verse 15. Okay, verse 15. And it says, he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues. So you got all type of diverse nations over here. Okay. Okay. Like I say, even the nation of Israel scattered amongst these heathen nations. Okay. But the Lord only going to deliver the elect and bring the destruction to 2/3 of our people and these heathen nations here on the shores of America. Okay, let's go back to verse 2. And it said, with whom the kings of the earth had committed fornication, the habitations of the earth have been made drunken with the wine of her fornication. Okay, going to all the different philosophies that America uphold. Okay, that these nations worship falsely. Okay, when it comes to these philosophies and false doctrines, such as Christianity, Roman Catholicism, Islam, Egyptology, okay, Baptist, Methodist, okay, Mormon, okay, Mormonism, African paganism, that a lot of our people are into. And now the latest Baphomet, Satanism, okay, the Momo agenda, okay, Scientology, okay, Egyptology, okay, that our people are into, man, okay, that through America have made the earth drunken when it comes to these nations over here, following after these false gods and idol worship, man, okay. Yeah, but when Yahushua bring the destruction of this place, and Yahushua has set up the kingdom, which is by default the kingdom of Israel, okay, there's only going to be one true living power being exalted alone in that day and forevermore when it comes to the exaltation or the praises of the names Yahweh and Yahushua, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and the God of Israel being exalted, okay, and our kingdom being established, and these heathen nations start with the biblical Edomites going into captivity, okay, starting with the elites, okay, that be reserved after the Third World War, okay. But the heathens that perish on this side, they're gonna be reborn, okay, through their bloodline, eventually be slaves, okay. And the 2/3 that perish on this side, they're gonna come back in the kingdom, being reborn, okay, which is all reincarnation, gonna be born, okay, through the bloodline of the elect, being sons and daughters of the elect. And that's how they're gonna inherit the kingdom, okay. And it says, verse 3, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman set upon a scarlet colored beast. Okay, the woman represent America, okay, and the beast represent the EU system and NATO, okay, the European nations. And it says, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, and the 7 heads, okay, we always known to, going into it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. When it comes to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, okay, going into the 7 heads, okay, which represent France, okay, Great Britain, okay, Spain, Rome, um, East Germany, West Germany, and ain't a long time the Spain, Rome, France, Great Britain, East Germany, West Germany, and come on, Greece, Greece. Okay, the 7 heads, and we know that the 10 horns represent the vassal states. Okay, which America was birthed out of the EU. I say that out of Europe. Okay, when it came to Daniel the 7th chapter, going into the 3 horns. Okay, we know about the 3 horns, the history of the Spanish War, the Spanish War, the French War, and the Britain War. Okay, which America came out of Britain. Okay, that 8th horn, or the little horn. Okay, and the 8th, that was set up. Okay, still to this day. Okay, and it says, and the woman was a ray in purple and scarlet color. Okay, America. Okay, going into the kingdom. Okay, and it says, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, and full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Yeah, like I said, going into all the philosophies. Okay, but now we're at the point now that Esau Edom, okay, want to push his technology. Okay, the AI. Okay, the AI technology. Okay, transhumanism. Okay, like I've been going into the coming of the cashless society, which are all going to center around the RFID micro. okay, neural links, okay, the brain implants, okay. You hear the talk more and more of smart cities, okay, AI surveillance, okay, AI robots, okay, that's gonna take over, okay, that these elites wanna push forward when it comes to AI technology. Like I say, all of it gonna center around that RFID micro, okay, and the surveillance, okay, when it comes to biometric, facial recognition. I say salak, excuse me, facial recognition, okay, biometric, okay. Uh, we already know all the abomination that this place push, being contrary to the ways of the law, statutes, commandments, okay, and really all of us sent around going back to really Satanism, okay, Baphomet, Satan worship, because that's the power that Esau Edom um really worship, okay, and pushes here on the earth, okay. Their power is of the spiritual demon Satan, okay. And you got 2/3 of our people following suit, being enticed, and the rest of these heathens, okay. So one of many reasons why this place is gonna be destroyed, man, okay. And upon her forehead was name written Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay, a mystery Babylon. Okay, show you that it's a mystery to the majority of the world, but not unto us. Okay, so that's the hopeful elect. Okay, and it says the abominations of the earth. Like I say, here in America, you got all nations over here, and you got all type of sets of religious. Okay, that the nations worship and push falsely. Okay, when it comes to these religions or false doctrines being pushed, man, contrary to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, so it had been that golden cup. Okay, the democracy, the policies that the government push, the voting system, okay, the jurisdiction laws that they push, which is wickedness. Okay, matter of fact, let's get this. How it says Babylon had been a golden cup. And let's start off with one. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 1. This said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst thereof, the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And that's going into the thermonuclear destruction at the peak of the Third World War, when Yahweh Shai returned, intervened at the peak of the Third World War, with, by the way of the chariots, to fight against these nations' armies. Okay, starting over there in the Middle East, what they call Middle East, but Minor Asia, okay, fighting against those nations' armies, okay, and Yahweh Shai making his way over here, okay, to bring the destruction to this place, America, right along with the missiles, okay, simultaneously, okay, and bringing a great deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel from out of that destruction. And it says, and I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land, okay, because back in the ancient times, when you start a fire, they had a fan that they, wave amongst the fire to increase the flames, okay. And in this case, when it comes to the fanners going into the plagues, man, that the Lord want to bring upon this place, okay. But the ultimate plague is those missiles, okay, that's going to empty the land when it comes to this place destruction. Because once this place ultimately destroyed and the fire and the smoke dies down, it's never going to be inhabited again by nations. It's going to become a desert. And the only thing that's going to inhabit this place is desert-like creatures, okay. And it says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his briding, spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Yeah, so the Lord gonna bring the destruction to 2/3 of our people. Okay, Esau, Edom, and these heathens here in America. In America, might. Okay, the destruction of this place. And it says, this the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans. They are thrust through in her streets. Okay, in the mind of the Chaldeans are these elites that's ruling over America. Okay, For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah his God, or the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Okay, and so the Lord ain't going to forsake the nation of Israel. Okay, starting with the elect. Okay, and also the land of Israel, which is being occupied by a bunch of phonies, because the people that's over there are not the true inheritors. That land gonna be cleansed by the way of missiles. Okay, courtesy to Russia. Okay, but that land gonna be built back up when it comes to the kingdom being established through the true inheritors. Okay, when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, starting with the elect after the great deliverance. Okay, and the heathen nations that remain gonna build it up. Okay, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon. Okay, and this is going into spirituality. Okay, and the mindset. Okay, not actually getting a passport and fleeing. Okay, but the mindset of coming back and being awakened to our true heritage and our power, Yahweh Shema Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that's going to come back and deliver us physically. Okay, by the way of the chariots. Be not cut off in her iniquity. Okay, so come back to repentance. Okay, and serving Yahweh Shema Shai in all truth and sincerity. Okay, and being covered. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense. Yeah, recompense what they done against us. Okay, as a nation. The enslavement, the bloodshed, the unjust, the blasphemy against our power. Okay? And so the Lord gonna bring that recompense upon this place. Start with the Edomites. Okay, down to the rest of these heathens, man. The Lord gonna bring judgment upon, like I say, even 2/3 of our people at this time. Verse 7, the point. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that had made all the earth drunken. The nations had drunken of a wine, therefore the nations are mad. Yeah, democracy. Okay, the worshiping of false gods, idol worship, philosophies, what's being pushed here in America through the entertainment, through the media. Okay, now to the now to the point that it entices nations worldwide. Okay, to go after the customs of America. Okay, to the point that you got nations over here being enticed. Okay, from third or fourth generations of these other nations or countries, or nations from these other countries that come over here through their forefathers or their parents. Okay, now you got the generation of these heathens being more and more enticed by way of America. Okay, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, is so she may be healed. Okay, and the balm known for a healing ointment. Okay, we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Hey, so this place ain't gonna be healed. Okay, we're on the verge of this place destruction. Okay, let us go everyone into his own country, and you starting to see that too as well. Okay, a lot of these nations that was foreign that came over here is starting to flee. Okay, going back to the original countries. Okay, where their family or certain family members resided. Okay, hey, so you got people fleeing out of this country because they seeing the downfall of this place. Okay, like I said, the economy on the verge of crashing, uproars of the people, civil unrest, plagues when it comes to pestilence, famine. Okay, and it says, if so be she may be healed, we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go every one into his own country, for a judgment reaching to the heaven and lifted up even to the skies. So this is the time now. The Lord about to bring judgment upon this place. Okay? But like I said, the Lord gonna be the deliverance of the elect. Okay, also the hopeful elect. Let's get this. Isaiah chapter 13, verse verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. Okay, those missiles and the chariots bringing fire. Okay, when it comes to this place of America. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Okay, and so we're coming in these times, man. Okay, so more and more the exposure of this place, man. And the only ones that's truly gonna wake up is the elect. Okay, you got some people out there now starting to see that America is Babylon the Great, but they can't pinpoint it really all back to biblical prophecy. Okay, biblical usage. Okay, but only the elect. Okay, gonna fully understand and knowing the great destruction of this place. Um, I get this and I'll probably get ready to close. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having a great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory, going to Yahweh shall return. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, it's become the habitation of devils. Okay, after this place destruction, there's gonna be nothing gonna inhabit this place but desert-like creatures. Okay, and the whole of every foul spirit in a cage of unclean and hateful birds. Okay, so unclean birds. Okay, and animals. Okay, that desert-like creatures that Lord gonna have this place inherit, or they're gonna inherit this place once the fire and smoke dies now, and it's gonna be known as a amalgamate in the kingdom forever. Okay, when it comes to the America being turned into a great um desert. Okay, a mass vast desert, and always gonna be known too as when it comes to Yahweh Shai returning or bringing the salvation to the nation of Israel. Okay, when it comes to the elect from out of that great destruction. For all nations had drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth had committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. Yeah, because we know that America always been known for what an import country. Okay, doing trades with these other countries, man, such as the likes of China, Taiwan. Okay, the European nations, the Arab nations. Okay, they got their certain stake over here when it comes to business, financial gain. Okay, but now all these countries are starting to ditch the dollar. Okay, we know about the BRICS nations, the BRICS format when it comes to their economy. Okay, it's being spearheaded by Russia and China. Okay, and now these other countries are dropping the dollar. Okay, and we know eventually all that's going to lead to a global reset when it comes to that RFID micro. Eventually, that's going to replace the crude dollar or the petrol dollar. Okay, but these nations always been known to gaining financial gain or monetary gain off of America when it comes to the trades. Okay, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of a sin, and that ye receive not of a plagues." And that's going to be a physical voice when Yahweh shall return in the Hebrew to deliver the elect from out of that great destruction, beaming the elect up, us of the whole elect, into those chariots, man, for the great destruction. Okay? For her sins have reached into heaven, and Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, have remembered her iniquities. Okay, when it comes to this place, destruction. Okay? Reward her even as she reward you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she had fulfilled to her double. Okay? Yeah, so the Lord gonna bring the destruction to this place, man. Okay? And you read verse 11 all the way throughout, man. Go into, okay, how the Lord bringing the great destruction, and nothing is gonna stand. Everything gonna be melt. Okay? Mainly the people. Okay? And the Lord only gonna deliver the elect from out of that great destruction, man. Okay? Let me see. I'll go to jump down to verse 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, okay, the elect. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, have avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, going to the mists, and cast it into the sea. Okay, once again, the sea represents the people. Okay, because that's who the Lord gonna mainly destroy, the people. The 2/3 of our people and these heathens. Like I said, the only ones that's gonna be delivered is the elect from out of that great destruction by the way of the chariots. And this with violence shall that city, that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Okay, and so we come to the time of this place destruction, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that lesson will edify. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom to the hopeful. Shalom.